the signal in the void. The stars were silent as they had been for thousands of years. On the edge of the Zorith Dominion, a lonely patrol ship drifted through the darkness. Its crew was bored, scanning empty space for smugglers or pirates. Nothing unusual ever happened in this forgotten sector, but tonight something changed. Lieutenant Chiron, a young alien officer with pale blue skin and sharp ridges across his head, leaned over his console. A faint pulse appeared on his sensor screen, repeating every 20 seconds. It was weak but steady, like a heartbeat echoing through the void. "Captain, I think I found something," Chiron said, his voice shaking slightly. Captain Vera, older and hardened by many years in command, walked closer. Her eyes narrowed as she studied the strange signal. It was unlike the pirate beacons she had seen before. This was old, very old. "Where is it coming from?" she asked. Chiron tapped the controls. "It originates from the dead zone near the Veil Nebula. No colonies, no trade routes. Nothing should be there." The crew gathered around, curious. They had heard stories about that region, a place where ships vanished without explanation. Another officer frowned. "Could be an old mining station, or a broken probe still sending out messages." But Captain Vera shook her head. She recognized the pattern. It was not random. It was deliberate. The signal pulsed again, stronger this time. A deep vibration filled the patrol ship, as if the void itself carried weight. "Patch it through." "The main speakers," the captain ordered. The bridge grew quiet. Static filled the room, then a low sound emerged. It was a voice distorted by centuries of travel but still powerful. "To all units, awaken." The crew froze. "That's a language," Chiron whispered. "But it's not ours, Captain." Vera's eyes widened. She knew the dialect. It was from the Deathworlders, humans, the most feared species in recorded history. The same humans their history books claimed were long gone. "Impossible," muttered one officer. "Humans are extinct. They burned themselves in their own wars." Yet the voice continued, repeating the same haunting command. "To all units, awaken." The crew looked at their captain. Fear spread across their faces. Legends said humans were monsters, survivors of the deadliest worlds, fighters who refused surrender. Even their children were said to grow up in storms and fire. The signal pulsed again, rattling the patrol ship's hull. This was no accident. It was not a broken probe or an abandoned beacon. It was a call. "What do we do?" Chiron asked. His voice cracked, caught between duty and dread. Captain Vera considered her options. Destroy the source before anyone else detected it? Report it to High Command and risk panic across the Dominion? Or ignore it and pretend nothing happened? Her instincts told her one thing. Whatever this signal meant, it was dangerous. "Transmit a copy to Central Command immediately," she ordered. "Do not alter it. Do not add comments. Let the Council decide." The crew obeyed, though unease filled the air. Hours later, on the Dominion's capital world, the High Council gathered in their marble halls. The signal played again, echoing through the chamber like a ghost from the past. Some dismissed it as a trick. Others whispered in fear. But one ancient counselor stood slowly and declared, "This is no trick. This is the Deathworlder tongue, and this is a summons." The chamber erupted in chaos. Reports soon followed. Distant outposts along the border picked up the same pulse. Merchant ships complained of strange vibrations in their hulls, and in the depths of forgotten space, something stirred. On the patrol ship, Chiron sat alone at his console. He kept replaying the signal, studying every crackle of static. Each time he heard the voice, it grew clearer, stronger, almost alive. Finally, the young officer whispered to himself, "If the stories are true, then the Deathworlders are not gone, they are coming back." The signal pulsed one last time. The lights on the patrol ship flickered. Somewhere, in the dark between stars, machines that had slept for millennia began to wake. Engines coughed. With fire. Ancient codes unlocked vaults of war, and across alien space an old nightmare stirred. The Deathworlders had heard the call. Whispers of the Deathworlders. The Dominion High Council chamber was in chaos. The signal had echoed through the hall like a curse, stirring memories that no one wanted to remember. Old legends returned in frightened whispers. The Deathworlders, the humans, the lost monsters of the galaxy. Counselor Therion, whose skin shimmered like polished stone, slammed his staff on the marble floor. Silence. Do you not understand what this means? The humans were destroyed. Their homeworld burned itself to ash. This signal is nothing but an echo from the past. But another counselor shook her head. And yet their tongue survives. Can an echo stir engines across half the galaxy? No, this is not a memory. It is a command. The chamber filled with dread. Some argued it was a trap, perhaps created by rival empires to sow fear. Others spoke of ancient wars when Deathworlder fleets had crushed empires 3 times their size. Those tales had always been told as warnings but never believed, until now. The rumor spreads on frontier colonies. Miners and traders whispered about the strange pulse in the stars. Superstitions grew overnight. Children were warned not to look at the night sky too long for fear the Deathworlders would see them back. Merchants swore their ships shuddered in rhythm with the signal, as if space itself remembered human footsteps. And deep in alien academies, young officers searched ancient records. They read descriptions of humans with disbelief, a species born on a death world where fire, storms, and predators were everyday trials. Fragile bodies but unbreakable. Will. Fighters who laughed in the face of extinction. And officers doubt Lieutenant Chiron, still aboard the patrol ship, could not sleep. The signal replayed in his mind, the human voice growing louder with every repetition. He remembered training, lessons that mocked human myths, tales of a species too stubborn to die, of ships that never surrendered. He had laughed at those stories. But now, he was not laughing. He turned to Captain Vera late in the night. What if it's real? What if they are coming? The captain studied him. Her eyes were cold, but honest. Then the galaxy is not ready. The first awakening far away, beyond the Veil Nebula, a forgotten warship stirred. Dust floated through empty corridors as ancient systems hummed back to life. Lights flickered across bulkheads marked with the faded symbol of Earth. The ship had been silent for 10,000 years. Its crew long gone, their bones turned to dust. But the machine still remembered their orders. The signal reached its heart, and the engines roared awake. From the darkness, a single human battleship slid forward, its guns still armed, its hull scarred with memories of wars that had shattered empires. Alone, it moved across alien space like a predator that had never stopped hunting. Council's fear back in the capital, High Command argued endlessly. Admiral Zarek, scales shining under the chamber lights, shouted, "We must prepare fleets. If the humans return, we strike before they grow strong." But Counselor Myrrh, older than most, whispered instead, "You cannot strike Deathworlders. You can only survive them." Her words chilled the room. Voices in the dark and hidden corners of the galaxy, others listened. Rival empires intercepted the signal too. Some celebrated, believing the Dominion would be destroyed first. Others trembled, knowing no empire could remain safe if Deathworlders truly returned. Smugglers and mercenaries spoke of rewards, ancient human technology, weapons that could turn worlds into glass. Some dreamed of profit, others dreamed only of running. The second signal, Lieutenant Chiron's ship shuddered again. This time it was not one pulse, it was many. The repeating voice shifted, static cleared, the words became stronger, more direct. To all units, awaken, assemble, return. Chiron gripped his console. He whispered, "It's not just a beacon, it's an order." Vera's face hardened. She knew what this meant. If one ship had awakened, more would follow. And when they gathered, no force in the galaxy could stand against them. The nightmare returns reports flooded in. An outpost burned near the nebula. No survivors. Merchant ships vanished on the trade lanes. Patrol fleets swore they saw shadows in the void. Massive, shapes moving silently through space. Some said the Deathworlder Armada was already here. Others said this was only the beginning. The hook in the Dominion's darkest chambers, the High Council received a final update. Sensors had detected hundreds of warships, moving in formation beyond the frontier. Not pirates, not rivals. Their design matched nothing in the galaxy except the forgotten records of Earth. The Dominion stared into the abyss and realized the truth. The Deathworlders were not extinct. They had been waiting. The Armada awakens. The Dominion's borders had never been quiet. Traders moved, pirates hunted, scouts patrolled. But now, all movement stopped. Every sensor, every eye, every whisper turned toward the Veil Nebula. Something vast was stirring. There, and the whole galaxy could feel it. On the patrol ship where Lieutenant Chiron served, alarms blared without pause. His console showed readings no officer had ever seen before. Hundreds of massive objects moving together, slowly but with terrifying precision. "Report!" Captain Vera snapped, her voice sharp. Chiron swallowed hard. "It's a fleet, Captain. But the designs, none of them match Dominion records. None of them match anyone's records. They're alien, old, human." The bridge fell silent. The words "human fleet" struck like knives. The gathering across the stars, ancient engines lit up like fallen suns. One by one, old warships rose from their tombs of dust and ice. They answered the signal without hesitation, turning toward the same direction, toward each other. At first there were dozens, then hundreds, then thousands. Some ships were sleek predators built for ambush. Others were massive carriers, their hulls scarred but still alive. Each bore the faded insignia of Earth, a circle with blue and green, long forgotten by alien history. The Deathworlder Armada was gathering. Alien panic on the Dominion's capital. Chaos spread. Civilians filled the streets demanding answers. Rumors spread faster than truth. Rumors of Deathworlders marching back to reclaim the galaxy, of human war machines that never broke, of soldiers who fought even when their worlds burned. Admirals struggled to calm the panic. Fleets were scrambled to the border. Colonies sent desperate messages begging for protection. One alien broadcaster whispered words that spread across 10 sectors. They were never gone. They were only waiting for the signal. First contact on the edge of Dominion space, Admiral Zarek led a formation of 300 warships. His orders were clear: intercept and destroy whatever came out of the nebula. But when the Armada appeared, the Admiral's blood ran cold. The human fleet stretched across the void like a storm. Warships filled the horizon. Engines glowed red, like angry eyes. They moved in silence. No broadcasts, no threats, no demands. "They are not here to talk," whispered Zarek's second-in-command. The Admiral gave the only order he could. "Open fire." The clash the Dominion unleashed everything: plasma cannons, rail strikes, torpedoes. Space itself lit up with fire. But when the blast struck the Deathworlder ships, they barely flinched. Shields shimmered, armor burned. But the Armada held. Then came the human reply. From the lead battleship, a single broadside fired. Beams of white fire cut through the void, slicing 3 Dominion cruisers in half with surgical precision. The alien fleet staggered. More human warships opened fire. Their weapons were ancient yet terrifying. Every shot found a target. Every strike tore through defenses. Dominion formations crumbled in minutes. Lieutenant Chiron, watching from far away, whispered the only truth. They fight like they never stopped. The revelation: in the middle of the battle, something strange happened. A small Dominion frigate drifted too close to a human carrier. The frigate's crew expected to be destroyed instantly, but instead, the massive human ship ignored them. Its guns turned away, firing only at the largest Dominion vessels. Admiral Zarek realized it too late. "They are not fighting us for conquest," he muttered. "They are protecting something. His words barely reached his officers before another blast tore through his flagship. Whispers of fear across alien space, the reports spread. Dominion fleets destroyed within minutes, human ships appearing in every sector, the Armada moving deeper, unstoppable. But the strangest detail was repeated in every report. The Deathworlders were not invading colonies, not killing civilians, not seizing planets. They were moving with purpose, ignoring everything that was not a direct threat. It was as if they were heading somewhere. The hookback on the patrol ship, Captain Vera, stood in silence, watching the data stream. The Armada was vast, far larger than anyone had feared. Yet its path was clear. It was not scattering to conquer worlds. It was converging, like rivers flowing into a sea. Chiron's hands trembled. "Captain, where are they going?" Vera's eyes darkened. She whispered the truth no one wanted to hear. "They are going home." The bridge froze. For if the Deathworlders had a home to return to, it meant only one thing. They had never truly been defeated. And now, they were awake. Clash at the border. The Dominion's frontier burned. Wreckage of shattered warships drifted through the void, like broken bones. Entire fleets had vanished within hours, torn apart by the ancient power of the Deathworlder Armada. But the High Council refused to surrender. Pride and fear drove them forward. They declared that the Dominion must stand firm, at the border, no matter the cost. Every ship was summoned, every soldier forced into service. It was the largest defense force ever assembled in their history. 2,000 vessels lined up in desperate formation. Admiral Therian, tall and stern, stood at the command deck of the flagship Veloth Prime. His voice carried across the channels. "Deathworlders are flesh and blood, not gods. Today we prove that the Dominion still rules the stars. The trap is set. The fleet spread across the frontier line, weapons armed, engines primed. Mines were hidden in asteroids. Carriers launched wave after wave of drones. The Dominion believed that sheer numbers combined with strategy could slow the human armada. And then the void trembled. One by one, human ships emerged from the Veil Nebula. Their engines glowed like burning stars. Their hulls carried scars of battles older than the Dominion itself. The Armada stretched as far as sensors could measure. But what frightened the Dominion most was the silence. The Deathworlders did not send warnings. They did not boast. They advanced in perfect formation as if the aliens did not even matter. The first strike, Admiral Therian raised his hand. Fire. A storm of weapons lit the darkness. Plasma waves, rail slugs, and energy lances poured into the human fleet. The stars themselves seemed to shatter under the bombardment. For a brief moment, hope filled the Dominion. Surely nothing could withstand that much firepower. But then the dust cleared. The Armada still moved forward. Human shields shimmered, some ships burning, but none fell. The aliens' most powerful weapons had done little more than scratch the surface. Then came the Deathworlder reply. The wrath unleashed, the lead battleship turned its cannons forward. With a single volley, 5 Dominion cruisers were torn apart, their wreckage scattering across space. Carriers fell next, their drones swatted aside like insects. Every shot from the Armada was precise. Every strike cut through the Dominions' defenses with terrifying ease. Alien formations broke apart. Ships collided as they tried to flee. Commanders shouted orders, but fear had already won. Admiral Therian watched in horror as entire squadrons vanished in flashes of white fire. His voice cracked when he spoke. This is not a battle. This is execution. A strange mercy yet. As the chaos unfolded, something strange happened. Civilian transports caught in the crossfire braced for destruction, but the human ships ignored them. Instead, they targeted only warships, striking with precision to avoid unnecessary deaths. One Dominion captain reported in shock, They are sparing the weak." The realization spread quickly. The Deathworlders were not mindless conquerors. They were focused, deliberate. They destroyed only those who resisted, leaving the helpless untouched. To some, this was mercy. To others, It was worse. A message. We can kill you anytime we choose, but we do not need to. The breaking point hours passed. Dominion forces crumbled, one fleet at a time. The border that had stood for centuries was gone. On the patrol ship, Lieutenant Chiron stared at his console with wide eyes. They aren't even fighting at full strength, he whispered. This is only their vanguard. Captain Vera's voice was grim. If this is only the beginning, then the galaxy will not survive the end. The Hookas, the Dominions. Last ships fell. The Armada slowed. Their formation shifted, aligning into a massive spearhead. Sensors traced their path. They were not spreading outward, not claiming territory. They were pushing deeper, moving with unshakable purpose. The Council received the final report. The Deathworlder Armada has crossed the border. They are heading straight for the Galactic core. Panic seized the leaders. None understood why. None dared to guess what waited there. But one truth was clear. The Deathworlders had returned. They would not stop. And whatever they sought in the heart of the galaxy, no empire could keep it from them. The Deathworlder message, the Dominion, was broken. Its proud fleets lay scattered across the frontier, reduced to burning wreckage, drifting in silence. Planets that once boasted strong defenses now watched the sky in terror, waiting for the Deathworlder Armada to descend upon them. But the Armada did not come to conquer. It marched forward like a storm with a destination no alien could predict. In the High Council chambers, arguments turned to desperation. Some demanded immediate surrender. Others demanded alliances with rival empires, but all voices trembled with the same truth. Nothing could stop what was coming. Counselor Mur, the oldest among them, whispered the words no one wished to hear. They are not here for us. They are here for something greater. The silence. Before the voice on the edge of the Dominion core, the Armada stopped. Thousands of warships hung in perfect formation, their engines glowing like stars. For the first time in days, the galaxy held its breath. Alien sensors strained to capture every detail. Admirals ordered their ships to prepare for the final battle. Civilians prayed, hiding in shelters. Then, without warning, the silence was broken. Single transmission cut across every channel, overriding Dominion systems, rival networks, even private comms. Every being across dozens of sectors heard the same sound. A human voice, deep and steady, carried by the ancient signal. Stand down. We are not your enemy. This is not your war. The words were clear. They were terrifying in their calmness. The Revelation admirals froze. Commanders stared in disbelief. The voice continued. For 10,000 years we have slept. For 10,000 years we have waited. The signal was not meant for you. It was meant for us. Across the Armada, ships aligned into a vast symbol, visible on every scanner, a circle split in two. The old insignia of Earth. Humanity was never gone. We left the galaxy to heal from our wars, but we left guardians behind, waiting for the call. Now the call has come, and we have returned. Fear in the Council. The High Council panicked. Some believed it was a trick, a psychological weapon. Others trembled, realizing the Deathworlders spoke the truth. Counselor Therion shouted, "Why come back now? What do they want?" The voice answered as if it had heard him directly. "We seek what was taken. We seek what was hidden. And we will take it back." The clash of Worlds Admiral Zarek, one of the few surviving commanders, rallied his battered fleet. "If they seek the core, then we must stop them here." He ordered his ships forward. They charged like desperate hunters. The human Armada did not waver. A single broadside lit the void. In seconds, Zarek's fleet was ash. Not a single human ship was lost. The aliens realized the truth. They were not fighting for victory. They were delaying the inevitable. The message delivered. Then the human transmission changed. To every world, every empire, every species, the word spread. Do not follow the signal again. Do not stand in our way. The galaxy is vast, enough for you to survive without touching what belongs to us. But if you try, then know this, Deathworlders do not forgive. The words echoed like thunder. Civilizations trembled. Even empires that had not yet faced the Armada felt their hearts turn cold, the departure, and then the Armada turned. It did not stay to conquer the Dominion. It did not claim planets or enslave civilians. Instead, it moved deeper into the galaxy, toward the hidden regions near the galactic core. Alien observers watched in disbelief as thousands of warships vanished into hyperspace, leaving only wreckage behind. Captain Vera, aboard her patrol ship, whispered the truth aloud. They were not here to fight us. They were here to wake themselves. Lieutenant Chiron stared at the stars where the Armada had gone. Then what happens when they find what they are looking for? The final hook weeks later, Dominion scouts followed the Armada's trail against orders. They never returned. Only fragments of transmissions reached the border before silence. Structures older than any empire. We are not alone. In the core, the humans are not fighting us. They are preparing for something else. The last words before the signal died chilled every listener. The Deathworlders are not our greatest fear. They are preparing for war with something far worse.